can scooch me out of the way. I won't take offense. But continuing our review, if I am in any floor plans, let me go to my courtyard level. If I hit TG, and this will be redundant because it's already tagged, so in fact let me delete the tag. So I can type in TG, highlight over the door, and do you see how it's putting a tag there? Tell me what's not professional or perfect about it. The leader. Yep, we don't necessarily need a leader. It's not in the way. So I can deselect leader, and look, Revit's so helpful. Like everything I click on the way, it's like, do you want me to tag a wall? Do you want me to tag a window? Do you want me to tag this for you? Very helpful. Thank you, Revit. Oh, whoops, but that's what I wanted. So you can even put tags on windows. Let me go back to what I wanted, which was the courtyard level. There is my tag. And when I'm done, as you can see, it just wants to keep tagging. Just hit escape a couple times and you'll be done. Now, another way that you can do this is go to your annotate menu and you can do tag by category or tag all. So tag by category is that exact same thing I just did. You can see the TG shortcut right there. But if I go to tag all, let me do this. Let's say I didn't have any tags yet. So I could do this. I could go up to tag all. I'm going to slide this over so you can see. And I can do door tags and window tags. Leader is off, so that's okay. And if I just wanted to see what that does, I can click apply. And you see how we see a preview of what those look like? And then we're done tagging. The component that we don't have yet that we'll go in later in the semester is how we can create a schedule from this. And if I'm not mistaken, did you guys create schedules in your drafting classes? Okay, good. Nicole, it's okay if you haven't yet. We'll get there. And then we had a couple more other shortcuts. I didn't write them on the board last time. Sorry about that. So I made a note to go over them today. So to put in a door, you can go to the architecture menu and click door, or the shortcut is DR. Window is WN. We already know that wall is WA. And then the last new shortcut that we did was AL. And I think that was actually from the previous class, but I didn't go over it on the last set of questions, so I'll go over it this time. Now with the align command, answer me this. If you have two walls, wall A and wall B, wall A is in the correct position. Wall B needs to move over to wall A. Which one do I select first? The correct one or the one that needs to move? The correct one, yep. Good. It's opposite of CAD, if I remember correctly. So it takes, that's why I always have these like little things, click this and then that. So, and worst case scenario, if you do it the opposite way, is it that big of a deal? Control Z and then just redo it. Honestly, the thing that I just have to keep telling you, don't get hung up on things. Just move on from it, okay? You guys have no idea of how often I would play the Let It Go song from Frozen. I won't do that to you guys in this class, but just know that a couple years ago, yes, there's a lot of Frozen being played. I had some people who were very dramatic when things didn't work, so I just did that to damper. You guys have been great so far. Okay, one other thing that maybe one other thing, I might do more, we'll see. I just like reviews. Look at my screen right now and tell me about the view detail. What does it look like my view detail is set to, and how can you tell? Probably coarse, right? That's okay. So you can always like cheat and come down and take a look at these. So you knew it was one on the ends, right? So how could you guys tell that mine was set to coarse? Yeah. Yep, it lacks detail. So if I go to medium or fine, you can see that now I can see the drywall, I can see where the stud cavity is, sheathing, and then I think this is wood shingles. Yeah. So you can start seeing the details. Tell me what shortcut this is. What am I doing here? TL, yep. So thin line, thick line. I'm kind of toggling back between them. So again, this is my eyeballs. I already have a hard enough time seeing this, and then you throw this on top of it. There's no way. Like, it's a blur. So that's why I think it's important when you start working in Revit to make sure you have your screen settings something that's comfortable for you to see. Not just see, but let's try to throw in some dimensions. Okay, I am going to be dramatic, but it's like, where's my wall face? There's all these things to select from. And then if I go to the thin line, thick line, oh, give me a break. I mean, I don't even know. So make sure that you have that set to something that's comfortable for you. Okay, comfortable and lets you be efficient. If you find that you're stumbling around all over the place, maybe switch it back to the course view and then bring it back for printing if you want to show the detail of your walls. Okay, all right, so I think I'm ready to move on. Yes, I am ready to move on. What we'll be doing today is we are going to add a really simple roof. So we're going to be talking about roofs. I'm going to introduce ceiling plans, and then we'll also go over a section view as well. And this is pretty new. I usually don't do this until later in the semester, but I've had so many students taking codes classes where they need like a section or a ceiling view that's why I've kind of pushed it a little bit closer to the front end. I rely heavily on my notes because there's a couple things I took out that we're going to come back to. And one of them was making a custom wall type in our families. We're going to come back to that before midterm, so it's in my notes. Don't let me forget. I skipped one thing to bring something else closer. So with that, what I would like to do is let's start by creating a couple sections in our plans. And in case you don't know, so I'm talking about all these views that you may not remember from other classes, or I don't know in what capacity you went over them. But a section in National CAD standards, those are our 300 sheets. Okay, so from here on out, if you ever want to create a section sheet, it would be the I-301, I-302, or AI, or I, right? Let me ask you guys again, would it ever be ID, interior design? D is usually for demolition. If you see it out in the field, it's not that big of a deal. Just remember, Naima has OCD, right? But it's just important to know what those designations are. So that's why we always just do I. So we're going to do a section, and a section is different from an interior elevation. And I'm going to use this building just to kind of show you the difference between them. But an interior elevation, and let's use this wall. So if I was doing an interior elevation of this wall right here, an interior elevation only shows me the interior corner to all of the other interior corners. It's just kind of like this nice clean box. A section actually cuts through a building. So imagine I have this giant saw and I'm cutting the building. So when I cut the building, not only do I see, the interior corners, but I see the roof and ceiling above, and I also see the floors below. And since I slice those walls, now I can see the construction of those walls. They don't just look like solid walls like this, but I can see, the drywall, the sheathing, the studs, and then the drywall, and maybe even the tile on the other side. So that's the difference between a section cut and an interior elevation. So your interior elevations should not ever show structure, and similarly, your sections should show the structure and the entire building. Can everybody imagine that? Okay, in just a sec, you'll actually see what it looks like on our sheet. So to add a section, it's really simple. There's two ways of doing it. The most simple way is to come up to this shortcut right here. You see, it's next to our little 3D house section. Let's do it that way to begin. And when you click it, depending on whether you start left or right, so if I go right over, that's where the head is, it's pointing up. But if I go left over, it's head to the right pointing down. Does that make sense? But you can always hit, after you put it down, you can always hit your space bar and rotate it. For this example, I want to go from left to right, through the hallway looking up. Taylor, did you have a question?
Yeah, It's a little bit late, but
You're fine.
my network location doesn't show like
Your drive?
yeah.
Oh shoot, do you not have a tiny house to work with today?
No.
Do you want to grab it from Canvas off of an assignment? Or I can email you one.
So I tried, but I think I did my last submission, like my PDF is one submission and then my Revit file is
So
one
it's an
submission.
older one? Let me email it to you real. Alright, so Taylor, I'm gonna go ahead. Meet us. You'll find us. You'll be fine. So I've got one section cut going through the hallway, and what this again is showing is this arrowhead indicates where we're looking, right? So if this is our magnifying glass, this is the view that we have. And if you click on the section line, I'm lying to you guys, you can't hit spacebar. Weird, I'm disappointed, but these lines do pop up down here and up here. So you can rotate it, and you can also cycle through the different heads. So typically, if your section goes through the whole building, you should have a double-headed section line like this. Usually, the only time that you have that little tail that was here at first, I'll find it one day, just give me a minute. There you go. That's only if it's a partial section, like if it's only going through a wall or part of a room. Sometimes you don't want your section to go through a whole building, but maybe part of the building. You haven't detailed it, whatever. So just going back to NYMA's OCD of National CAD standards, building sections, 2 heads. Partial sections should have the tail. And then once you have this one, let's also do one more section. So let's do this a new way. I mean, I know we can go up here and do the section, or I didn't show you this, we won't do it the new way. We can go to view and click on section. Let me ask you though, if I didn't want to use any of these 2, what's another shortcut I could use to create a section? I've done it with walls before. Like instead of going to the wall menu, create similar. Yep, so create similar would work on this too. I could grab a section line, CS, and then I could start drawing a section. Now let's do one through like the bathroom and the hallways this time.
And you're going to leave that as a partial because you're not drawing all of it?
I'm still going to go all the way through, so I'm going to change the head.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so it's still going through the whole building. So if I stopped my section, like right after the bathroom, yep, so as long as it goes in, it has to come out of the building to get the double head. Taylor, were you able to get that okay? Cool. And then once you have your sections, you can double click on any of the arrows and it takes you to that view. So if I go back to my courtyard, if I want to see that view through my whole house, that's what it looks like. Okay, so I'm still hearing lots of clicks. I just want to make sure you guys got your sections placed okay and you can see them in the view. You guys see it okay? Yep. Taylor, did you get caught up? Okay.
What arrow did you hit?
I'm sorry, yeah, how did you get
Yeah.
to the view of it?
So let me close these 2. So on first, maybe activate it. Anything on the arrow. Yep.
Got it.
Double click on it and it'll take you there.
Got it.
Now do me a favor, look at your project browser and tell me another way you could get there. Now that we've created them, they should also exist in your project browser. Yeah, do you guys see that now? You probably didn't notice. You've been working in Revit for like 5 hours now. But this didn't exist until we added sections. So if I hit the plus sign, we've got section 1 and section 2.
Very cool.
Got it? Good. All right, let's go to our, mine is section 1, the long section. So this would be the east-west view of our house. And this view is going to help us quite a bit today. So once you have section 1 open, close all the other windows. I'm just going to see if you remember. If you don't remember, I'll show you in like 5 seconds. But I have a whole bunch of views open now that I don't want. So section 1, and then up here at the top, we've got close inactive views. Just out of curiosity, are any of you guys working on a computer or laptop where you've had to close inactive windows, or is Revit working pretty well so far? No problems? Good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay, so we're going to work with the section. Let's also work with our floor plan. And then, just for fun, let's also do an exterior 3D view. And then go ahead and tile those for me. And we'll put the courtyard level as our main view.
My section 1 does not look like yours. It's just like one little like rectangle thing.
Okay, so maybe it is looking a different way. I'm not sure. Let's look at your floor plan to see where you cut it first. So where is, yeah, that looks right. So that's really weird. Let's see how long this is. Okay, I don't know how those got there. Let's do that. 6. Cool. Yeah.
Click again in there.
Close the door. Sounds like the class is getting out.
She said
So, troubleshooting, just in case this happens to you, if you have your arrow selected, maybe, there we go. Do you see this kind of bounding box that comes up? It's similar to our extents window. So if you're trying to drag your heads and you accidentally drag these boxes instead, tell me what happened to my view or my section. Yeah, so I'm clipping my section. So in case this happens on accident, just know that you can use these two kind of triangles to change your extents on it. Okay? And sometimes you might want to do it on purpose. I know sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to show you that part of my building, but I want it to look like a whole section. So I will just leave out information if I need to or want to. Okay. It sounds like everybody's with me. That's good. I'm going to zoom this down just a little bit. So what I'd like to do now is go over roofs and ceilings and maybe even floors. So floors was kind of like the bonus material for today, but I just want to let you guys know that fundamentally roofs, ceilings, floors, and even stairs, if you know how to do one, you know how to do all of them, okay? My classes are a little bit chaotic, so I'm like, here, take everything, run. But I'm like, if you're already learning, I want you to know that if you know this, all of the others will fall into place. So the way that they work is click on any one of them, it doesn't matter, and Revit is going to ask you to sketch a bounding box. And this will be a whole new thing for us, because up until now, we haven't sketched anything. So this will actually be a 2D sketch. So it's going to take us to a new menu where it has all these sketch tools on it. We'll see in just a minute. And what you have to remember is you are sketching where any of these items are going. So if you want to sketch a roof, typically you have to see what below? Like the house, right? From that first day of class, you want to have something to see below it. But when you're doing like ceilings or floors, you might already be on a floor plan, so you don't necessarily need to see it. But the thing about the bounding box that we're about to do is really picky. I'm going to do this in a different color. So the bounding box itself, do I have a red marker? I did. Is it over there? Okay, let me do red. The reason why I'm doing red is, thank you, the bounding box in Revit is magenta. So I'm just going to let you know that it's magenta. So the first thing to do is start sketching, and by default it has a line, but if you look at your sketch tools, you can do curves, circles, you can grab lines, what's called reference lines. Whatever you do, you need to draw. But the fundamental thing is wherever you start, that's where you have to end, okay? So start point has to be the same as end point. The other thing that's important is whatever shape you make, you can only have one line or one segment. See how I'm going over these partially, like 1 or 2 times? This will make it so that it doesn't work. Okay? So it has to be one continuous segment. So I know this is really lame, but I struggled with this when I first started working with Revit, and I always like to visualize things. So imagine what you have when you're sketching. You have a piece of string, okay? And so it's not a pen because you can easily go over with a pen, right? So it's a piece of string. Wherever you start that string, you have to loop it back to where you start, and you can't go backwards. Because you know how with string, if you loop it back over, it either starts to sag or you lose the first place. So it's a piece of string. You just have to pull it and bring it back exactly where you started. So one complete loop. And all of them work that way, okay? Can you guys at least visualize it? Okay, you might not get it yet because you haven't done it. I just want you to visualize it. So that's the first part. So just remember your bounding box, or boundary, I think it's called the boundary. How do you spell boundary?
B-O-U-N-D-A-R-Y.
Thank you. There's no red squiggle up here to let me know I'm wrong. So your boundary box has to be one continuous segment. Huh? Maybe? So what continuous means, no overlaps. And the next thing is start and end point have to be the same. All right, before we even get started, let's say you're trying to draw a roof. And let me say this part. When you're done drawing, okay, your boundary box is done, you will see 2 boxes. One of them is a big green check, and this means yes, I'm good to go. And then you will also see a red box that's like, psych, cancel it. I did not mean to do that. You have to pick one or Revit will just sit there. So a lot of you guys will draw your boundary box and do it perfectly, but then you're like, wait, I'm stuck. There is no roof. This is what you need to do first. Either say, yes, it looks good, let's build a roof, or no, I don't want to. Okay? We're about to do this. You think you've done it right, you hit the green box, it's not working, you're getting like 10 errors. Do you freak out? Maybe a little, whatever. But what do you do as soon as you freak out? Let it go. Hit escape, hit cancel, redraw it. Don't waste your time trying to figure out what's wrong. By the time you figure out what's wrong, you could have drawn 10 new things, okay? Don't waste your time on it. So with that, with that very long introduction, let's go ahead and draw our first bounding box, doing a floor. So before we even get started, let me look at our section. So when we draw our floor, you guys might not know this, so I'm just going to tell you. But when you draw a floor, it's actually going to come to your interior portion of the exterior wall. Do you guys see where my cursor is? So your floor doesn't come out here because usually there's like a footing or a foundation that comes up. So we're going to draw it to here. So let's go ahead and go in our courtyard level. Do you guys see where floor is? Found it? Is there a shortcut for floor?
It's not designated.
Nope, so there's no shortcut. Now, we've seen screens similar to this before. Here's the new part, the modify or create. So here's the new screen. Do you guys see the red X and the check? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I drew them opposite. It's the opposite stack. But take a look at this. Let's say I forget that I'm doing a floor. Somebody comes and talks to me. I go to architecture and I want to put in a floor. Why is my screen grayed out?
Because you have to hit the check or the X.
Yeah, so I am still in create floor boundary. Now, Revit was very nice. They highlighted this, but they did it in like a really chill color. Usually in the past it was like really bright yellow, but that means that like something's wrong, right? So now they're like, we're gonna use this very calm crest color, but this is really easy to miss, especially if you haven't used Revit. So just know, if everything's grayed out, look for the toothpaste color, okay? So look for that. As soon as you hit the red X, it's like, okay, they don't want to create that anymore. Go on with your life. But I'm going to go back to floor. So that's the first thing. Do you see all your sketch tools that I was explaining earlier? Okay. What else do you guys see over here that's familiar? What kind of a floor are we about to draw? Generic. And how big is it? 12 inch. Now, just, you might not know this, but if it's like a slab on grade house, you wouldn't have a 12-inch thick floor. So if I wanted to see what other types of floors there are, where could I go? Yeah, drop down. Do you guys see concrete slab 4 inches?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want for this house. Are there different options?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So like upstairs, typically we wouldn't have a concrete slab upstairs unless it's a condo, right? Sometimes that happens, right? So I lived in a condo where it was concrete slabs. It's like, hello, neighbor. But what would we probably do for the upstairs floor? One of these, right? I know we don't have an upstairs, but you know. So great, we're going to use the concrete slab. And for whatever reason, let's say that we lived somewhere where by code we had to do a 6-inch slab. Could you guys make a 6-inch slab? How would you do it?
Edit type.
Let's do it. Okay, edit type. Should I just put in 6 inches and be done? No. Okay. So this one's, this is a little bit more advanced, so I'm actually going to say let's not do this today. This is what we're going to do with our walls in a minute. But if you wanted to, I'll show you. Do you see how the default thickness is grayed out? You know what?
Yeah.
Let's just go through. I'll show you. It's really not that big of a deal because it's just going to be one thing. First, down here, click preview for me in the bottom right, bottom left. I get left and right confused. Yell at me if I ever get it wrong. Okay? And do you see on structure, we can actually edit the structure. So click that for me. What do you think we want to change here?
The floor.
Yep, the floor structure is concrete and it's 4-inch thickness. What do we want it to be? 6.
But do we not need to duplicate first?
Yes, we do. I'm so sorry. Yay!
I don't wanna ruin my 4-inch.
Don't ruin your 4-inch. Because I was like, we're going to do it. No, we're not. Yes, we are. But yes, let's duplicate it first. Thank you. So duplicate, we're going to call it 6 inches. And just remember this menu. That's one thing another thing I love about Revit is that a lot of these things are going to be similar. So what we are about to do with the floor, in a few weeks we're going to do that to our wall types. So we will edit the structure of our wall types. Okay? So concrete slab, 6 inches. Am I good to go or am I contradicting somewhere?
No, you need to go down to edit.
Yeah, do you guys see that the thickness is still 4 inches? So again, I wish Revit was smart enough to see that I was contradicting myself. So structure, and then here I can just do 0 space 6, or 6 inches, whatever you want. And now these two match. You guys able to follow along with that okay? Bonus content. Okay, and if you want to take a peek at my screen, usually right now by default it's set to pick walls. I don't really love this because it doesn't, let me show you what it does. Sometimes it doesn't grab where I want it to. See how it went on the inside of the drywall? Which, you know, I guess that's okay. The wall should go under the drywall. But if you want, you could, I'm doing Control Z right now, you could also just grab the line and then take it just to the outside. Okay? So you're basically tracing around where that floor is going to go.
I see, so you're putting it under the whole thing as one first.
Yep.
And then you can change sections later?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, if you needed to.
Thank you.
But for now, honestly, Carol, for our class and like the level of detail that we're getting into, this is just fine. Yep, it's just, I'm kind of omitting the fact that it's not sliding under the drywall, and I'm totally okay with that. So while you're in here, you know, if you ever draw something that you didn't mean to draw, you can hit Control Z, or you can click on a line and hit the delete key and it goes away. If you accidentally drew a line too short like this, you could also do the TR command and fix that corner, right? but this is what we're looking for. So you can see in my section, it's giving me a preview of where the floor is going. And then also in my 3D view, it's showing me where that floor is going to go to. And then once you're done, we're not going to freak out that there's not a floor yet. What's our last step? Yep, the green check. You guys see that in the middle? So it means finish edit mode. So when you're done, hit the green check, save your project, if it asks you to, and then take a look at your section, your 3D view, and your plan. Tell me what's new, what's different. Raise your hand if you didn't get a floor yet. Not yet? Okay. That's all right. I can hear clicks. You guys are good. I'm going to go back and completely redo mine. Did you hit the green check? Yep, hit the green check. So I'll go through that one more time. Floor. I don't want the generic 12 inches. I'm going to grab the 6-inch one. Oh, I undid everything. Okay, I'm just going to grab the 4-inch. I hit Control-Z too many times. And I'm going to grab the line boundary and then just trace around this. Well, since I already did this one, let me do the pick walls. Hopefully this has gotten better. In the past, see how it's automatically connecting the corners? In the past, it had a really hard time with that. It just would totally miss or grab a wall you didn't want it to grab. But I'm happy with how it's working now. Good. So I got that. So I've got my boundary. I see it in all 3 views. What's my last step?
Green.
Yep, green check. Lots is happening.
Same, like my floor went in and I would never have to do the green check.
I don't know. I can't vouch for that. I'm pretty sure you did. And you forgot, but
I don't know.
maybe you're
I
magic.
didn't see it anymore.
Let's say that your client wants to make this bedroom a little bit bigger, right? See how it's 12.3? Yours could be a little bit different, but see how mine is at 12.3? Let's say that they want at least 15 feet here. Do you guys know how to at least move the wall? 15? Okay, let's do that. So let's make the bedroom 15 feet. What? There's no way that yours didn't move. Mine did, but yours didn't. I just realized something. Sorry. Your floor didn't move, right?
Yes, mine did.
Mine did.
Okay, how many of you guys used the boundary wall? Or did you guys sketch it? Did yours move? What? I love you, Revit 2020. Yay! Okay. Well, that defeats the purpose of what I was
What
about
you're
to
about
show
to
you.
show us.
It hasn't moved. In the past, you've had to go and move the floor with your wall.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's not.
That's the point
Because-
of Revit, though. It thinks for
Well,
you.
it does, but I'm really happy. Okay, let's do something else. Let's do it. So we did 15 feet. I don't mean to offend anybody, but you know how there's like prepper people? Okay, so preppers, this one's for you. You want a hole in the floor of your bedroom, yes?
I had to undo all my floors because I went to save and it was like, they can't intersect, da 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 da.
Oh,
So now I'm trying
good.
to trying to do the boundary line.
Yeah.
Or pick walls one.
Uh-huh.
How do you execute it? Because I click pick walls and then I click on.
So as soon as it highlights blue, you should be good to go. Let me delete my floor real quick and let me meet you where you are. So floor, and you're on this one right here, the pick walls.
Yes.
Okay, so see how my wall just turns blue, like it highlights?
Uh-huh.
Click on it,
Oh,
and then go through and just click all your walls.
got it.
Got it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So then again, once we have our floor, we're gonna do something else. There will be times where you don't want a floor in a certain area. For example, if you have a second level, why would you have to cut the floor out? Yes, stairs. So if you have to have your stairs intersect something. We don't have stairs yet in this house, so we're just going to, I'm going to show you guys how you can kind of puncture through a boundary. So with your boundaries, you have to have a closed loop, But within that closed loop, you can do openings like this or like this. That doesn't matter as long as these are closed within it. Got it? So in our bedroom, what we can do, let's grab, so I don't know if this is bad practice, but I think it's more efficient. I'm about to work on the floor plan. Try to grab the floor in your floor plan and tell me if you can do it. I think it's a pain. It's possible, but this is what you have to do. So come to the edge of the wall and hit tab, and then keep hitting tab, and then eventually your floor highlights. So again, my cursor is at the edge of my wall. So see how my wall is highlighted? I keep hitting tab, it grabs all the walls. I hit tab again, it finally finds my floor. Yes?
No. It's not working.
Okay. So it took me a hover, tab, tab, and then floor. Okay, you guys are making my point. This is why I love multiple views. I can go in my section and grab my floor, and then come back to my floor plan and it's selected. Carol?
When I moved to 15, it
Yeah.
hit my section marker and it
Okay.
went beyond it.
Me too. I'll just have to
But
move
now
it.
I can't see that left side of my left wall.
Oh, you know what it probably is? Your extents
Okay.
that you set. I bet your extent window is like right
So
here.
I just need to drag that double arrow.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Mine highlights
So-
when I click it rather than tab it.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's still right.
It's highlighting part of my floor.
Well, I didn't mean to.
Really? Did you do two separate floors?
No.
Oh, I think you do have two floors. That's what. Hit delete
Oh.
and see if the floor is still there. Is there still a floor?
No.
Okay, hit Control Z. Your graphics card is just having a hard time. You've done it right. It just is shading it weird.
Okay.
Wait, look in your section. Are you sure there's not another floor there? Zoom in on your section for me. There's a floor there still.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, you just had two floors.
But then when I was selecting it, maybe it won't do it again. Yeah, it only like selects.
Delete it again. Okay, hit Control Z. It's really just a graphic card thing. You're okay. So the whole thing is selected. Let me select mine. Whoops. Okay, yeah, I think, is yours a true 3D view? No. So see how mine is a true 3D view?
Mm-hmm.
So with yours, you've moved your camera, right?
Oh, okay,
So
yeah.
because of that, Revit just has a hard time generating all of the shadows.
Okay.
That's the only difference. I'm in that axonometric, very proper 3D view, so it's easier for it to do shadows. Did you get your extents to work?
I moved my extents and my box,
Uh-huh.
that little arrow thing, and it's still not coming back.
Okay.
I closed my courtyard view, I reopened it.
Let me walk through with you. Let me do this. So here's what might be happening, but I don't know. So Carol can't see the side of her wall. So let me do a couple things.
Oh, maybe it's my crop.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say. If I
Oh.
didn't say that, I'm so sorry.
No.
But let me
I see.
do.
Never mind. That was my fault.
Okay.
Totally my
So
fault.
if you ever start adding something to your floor plan, do you see how my floor plan fell off of the view? Okay. I don't want you to think that the wall got deleted, but what you can quickly do is come to your extents and turn off crop view. If it's there, that just lets you know that you need to adjust your crop region to include this new addition. Okay, so more troubleshooting. So we had troubleshooting with our section being kind of cut off, and now we had troubleshooting with our extents cutting off our floor plans.
Good things to be here for.
Yeah, right? Okay, so now I'm going to turn off crop region visible. Okay. So we were talking about our floor and why I think it's easier to select it in a section and then hop over to the courtyard. But let me show you guys one more time how you would select it, because it is possible. So again, take your cursor and just hover over. You have to put it exactly where my cursor is. So the interior face of your exterior wall. You guys got that? Interior face of your exterior wall. I'm just hovered. I haven't clicked. Hit tab once for me, and did it select all your walls? Okay. Hit tab again, and did it grab your floors? No? What is it grabbing, Jessica?
It just goes back to one wall.
It just goes back to one wall? Okay. Grab another area, because what I'm thinking is it might not be, see, mine is, Oh, not there. I can even grab mine by my window. I'm gonna come take a peek just to see.
Do you think it was because you did it using boundary walls?
So
No.
but like right
Okay.
here.
And now hit tab once.
No.
And tab one more time.
There's your floor.
I like double click on it. That's the first time I did it.
I'm magic! Let me come sprinkle some magic over here.
I like that.
I wish I could just double click and do
Okay, sorry, I'm getting,
Okay. I just want to make sure you guys can find it.
so I'm just hovering, right?
Tab once. There's all your walls. Tab again. There's your floor. That line is your floor.
Oh, I was
Oh, I
waiting for
wanted
it
to go blue.
Not yet because we're just hovering. You have to click on it before it goes blue. So
Oh,
the perimeter is blue.
got it.
Okay, one more time.
There you go.
Now click and it's selected. So I'm being dramatic. It's not that big of a deal. Was everybody able to figure it out at least once? Okay, so just
Thank
look
you.
for that line. That's the boundary. So it's just a couple more hovers and tabs and clicks. But in a minute, when we have more stuff like windows and other stuff, it's going to take a few more tabs. For me, I just like to go into the section, grab it, and come over.
Yeah, that's
Some people have seen me do that and they're like, that's crazy. Why do you do it that way? And I'm like, I'm lazy. Whatever. So, yeah. Now we have our floor. Take a look at your screen and tell me what you think we need to do to edit our floor. I'm dancing on it. Edit boundary. Yep, so we want to edit the boundary. Sometimes you can also, no, on this one it's too hard. On the section, I think if I double click on it, it does the same thing. But because I can't edit it in section, it's like, all right, I will let you edit it, but tell me what view. You can do it that way too. But I think the edit boundary is a little bit easier. So what we can do now, because we don't often put circles in the floor, let's put in a couple circles. So let's pretend our bed's gonna go here. This is a tube to an underground tunnel. Just freehand a couple circles, and we'll hide one under the sofa in the living room. You guys are gonna think I'm like really into this, like tell people.
where a bomb shelter goes.
Yep.
Oh.
The other thing to imagine, if there's a stair going in here, you could click on rectangle and just like trace over the imaginary stairs that might be like right here. Now it's mad at me. There's not a closed loop. Sorry. There you go. Oh, wait, one more. And then when you're done, hit that green check, and you should see 2 holes in your floor. So if I go to my 3D view and pull it down, do you see how there's a hole now? Okay. So a closed boundary can have other closed loop boundaries inside of it to allow for penetrations through the floor. So there's a floor for you. Yep. Exits. Now what I'd like to do is go through and draw the roof with you guys, and then we'll come through and add a couple ceilings as well. So I'm going to draw a quick section of what our house should look like. I need to bring in a ruler one day. So this is what I want the exterior wall to look like. So it's going to end here. If we were really doing it right, there'd be a footing in the foundation. Here's that floor we just drew. Okay. So right now, the roof ends essentially right here. Our walls end right there. But what I would like to do, so I'm just gonna write roof level. So what we're about to do is I want to draw a flat roof like this, and then we're going to extend the walls up. So we have this part right here. This is called a parapet. A parapet is an exterior wall that comes up over the roof. And we're going to use the parapet to essentially be a guardrail in case we ever wanted to put like a roof deck or something up there, okay? So first, we're going to add the roof, and then the second thing we're going to do is add a parapet. Now the roof that we're drawing today is going to be really different, and I would say much simpler than other roofs that we will draw, because for the most part, I think that you guys will do pitched roofs. And so we have a couple of minutes. Why don't we do this? Before we draw the correct roof that we actually want for the project, let's draw a roof like we did on the first day of class, just to show how we can do boundaries and overhangs. Is that all right? Let's just spend like maybe 5 minutes on that. So with that, just remember, drawing a roof and a floor and all these other things are really similar. So knowing that, when we hit roof, what is Revit going to ask us to do? Choose what type of roof, and then what are we going to draw? A boundary. Yep. So let's not draw a roof on our courtyard level. Let's hop into our roof plan. Okay. Do we have a reference to kind of sketch our roof on? Let me give you about 30 seconds. See if you can remember how to turn on that reference plan. I'm not even using the name. Do you guys see the name in your properties menu? The underlay? Okay, so we want to underlay, where did it go? The courtyard level, or whatever you've called it, so that we can draw a roof. Okay, so in your properties menu, scroll down, and almost halfway you'll see the underlay. And we are looking for range base level. So basically, what's below? What's the base of this? Everybody with me? Okay. Let's draw it kind of out of the box. Carol, did you have a question?
I don't have my section lines showing up.
On your roof plan?
Yeah.
It's okay for now.
Okay.
We really don't. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat and I'm just going to turn mine off. I'll talk about that later. Just because I know you're going to worry about it. So I'm going to turn it off.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
My roof plan doesn't have like the outline of the floor plan.
That's okay. So what you want to do, go to underlay in your properties. Yep. And then turn on courtyard level.
Okay, now.
Cool. All right, so we've got our roof plan. And again, when I say out of the box, we're just going to quickly trace around our building. We're not going to add overhangs. We're not going to change the roof type. And then we'll change it once, and then we'll delete it, and then we'll do it the right way. Okay, so we're going to click on roof. Do you guys see our modify, create roof, blah, 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 boundary line menu? Okay, so we're about to draw what type of a roof? Generic 12-inch roof. So let's grab a line or grab your other stuff. Yeah, Nicole?
Sorry to stop you.
You're fine.
I am not seeing underlay in my properties menu.
I don't think you're in a roof plan. So over here, do you see how I'm in roof?
I've got roof plan in this little window.
Pull it up. So yeah, you can do, yeah, tile it over just so at least I can see what you're working on. Okay, I see your roof plan now. Is it in the upper right, left? Upper left, I see it. Now it's in the bottom. Okay, there we go. Okay, so click into your roof plan for me. Okay, and then over in properties, let me hit escape. Because I'm magic, you will see it now. So does it say floor plan right here?
No, but maybe it's because I'm under the roof menu.
Yes, so get out of there, so hit the red X. Tell it psych, okay? So when it says floor plan, this will control our view. And I promise that if you go about halfway down, you'll see underlay, and then range base level will be blank. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see underlay.
Yep, now pull down and then find courtyard level.
Okay.
Got it? Cool. You're welcome. So I'm going to hop back in here. So I did roof. It's waiting for us to sketch. And I'm going to go ahead and do pick walls again. I'm going to trust Revit. And by default, it's giving me a 1-foot overhang. I didn't change anything. That's just what it's giving me. So I'm going to go around and click every wall, and I'm going to let Revit do its thing. Is this what you guys are getting as well?
If my lines are on inside of my walls.
Hit the space bar to flip it the other way.
Okay.
Yep. Maybe Control Z. Yep.
Yeah. Missing. Oh, well.
Crazy. Okay.
Yeah, I'll start over.
And then I'm done with my sketch. So what should I hit?
Check.
Yep, the green check. So when you're done, hit the green check and let's see what we got.
So I did the, you know how the original plan has like a kind of little deck area?
Uh-huh.
And the walls kind of stick past the roof.
Yeah.
So I made those walls like stick out past.
Sure.
And it is causing so many problems for me right now.
For your roof?
Cause then they're not connecting the.
It's like not.
Oh, but so sketch it. Sketch it if you need to. Yeah, just sketch around it. Yep.
I know.
Yep. So really, yeah, I would, so if you don't have this, I'm gonna kind of pretend that so it extends out over here, right? Something like that?
Over there and
Yep.
on the other side as well.
So with this, what you can do, you guys are still okay. This is like one of the first roofs you've made. You can even combine it. So where you can select the walls, I'm gonna even say like right here, right? Select your walls. But then outside of that, if you can't select your walls, you're kind of stuck sketching, right? And if you're like, I absolutely want the 1 foot overhang, sketch a line, right? See how it's in the middle of nowhere? This is kind of going back to one of our first lessons. I can do a dimension and say, okay, I want you to be 1 foot like the rest of them. And then how do I fix this corner? TR. And
More work.
yeah,
So if I'm slow, that's why.
you're fine. And then like even over here, I don't even know why I would do this, but I'm gonna put a line 5 feet away.
Right, cause
Right?
it is a covered.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go distance 5 feet. There is an easier way to do this, but I've already thrown so much stuff at you. We're gonna leave that alone for today. I'm gonna show you how to do it with stuff you already know. So trim there and trim there. And then maybe even on the front of the house, I'm gonna do something even different. I'm gonna have this roof just come all the way up front. Okay? Yeah, I mean, really with this, you guys can do whatever you'd like. But when you're done, hit the green check. Can't make a roof footprint. Okay, this is where I say, let it go. I'm gonna hit cancel. Let's see what I overlapped. Okay, the geometry's right, but it's just having a hard time building it. So, is it you?
Yeah, drawing is a pain.
But okay, I'm gonna be a total hippie right now, and I'm gonna make you reframe how you're thinking.
It's still easier than CAD. That's one thing.
Fruits of your labor. So we have spent what, 5 minutes on this? Carol, I'm bringing you back. Is it any easier to get frustrated at it?
No.
No, it really isn't. So what you can do, you can just restart it and sketch.
What I was trying to do was to sketch it from scratch, not
Yeah.
realizing I should click on walls first and then just
Sure.
sketch my
But it's just as easy to be like, dude, that didn't work, and then move on from it,
Yeah.
right? I just don't want you guys to get clouded. Be nice to yourselves. Forget Revit. Be as mean as you want to Revit, but just be nice to yourselves. Okay? Are you guys impressed with your roof? It's like whatever. It's like, yay, I have a roof. You might not be like a beautiful roof, but we have a roof. Before we do our proper flat roof, let me just jump in and show you a couple other things that you guys can edit while you're in here. Is that okay? Or are you guys ready to move on?
Wait, I just realized the roof is on the bottom of my house.
Ah, you're not on the roof level. You're okay. You did it on your floor plan. So try this. There might be an easy fix. So when I grab, let me do it in my 3D view. And come to your 3D view for me too. When I grab my roof, it tells me that the base level is roof, but I'm assuming that right now yours says courtyard level.
Yeah.
So it's just as easy as grabbing it and being like,
Cool.
go to your roof. Then you're good.
Wait, okay. There we go.
Did that work?
Yeah.
See ya.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
What does that mean?
It just means that your sketch, your boundary for whatever reason didn't work. I know.
Okay, I'm a little bit behind because I had to draw my little roof lines, but, so now it's like blue, we'll call it blue, I think it's
'Kay.
periwinkle. Anyway.
It's selected. Yep, so you have it selected.
But, it's still flat, and I don't see my red X or my green check as an option.
Okay, so do you see edit footprint as an option?
Yes.
Okay, so that means you've already drawn your roof and you told Revit you were done, and now you're like, psych, I want to go back in and edit it. But here's what we're going to do. This is taking too much time, not what I wanted to work on. We're going to delete this roof and we're going to walk away from it. It's not the roof we wanted, but I just wanted to show you guys that you can quickly make a roof. You guys can disagree with that, but think about what it would have taken to build that roof in drafting mode. Might not be what you wanted, but I like you, Revit. Don't listen to the other people. Okay. So we're about to draw this roof right here. So this is a flat roof. And tell me, are we going to sketch it to the inside or outside of the walls?
Outside.
So this is exterior, this is interior.
Oh no, we want it on the inside.
Inside, because we want that parapet to come up. We don't want a roof sticking out and then a wall coming up. So we're gonna keep it to the inside. This is a really unique roof detail, but it's typical in modern and contemporary buildings. Okay, how many of you guys live in a house with a flat roof that's like this, or an apartment? Okay, so a few of you guys. Not that common, but still definitely an aesthetic that a lot of people, including myself, like. So we are going to first sketch the roof. We're not going to hit the check mark yet. We're just going to sketch it. Actually, we might hit the check. We'll see. So roof. Let's stick with the basic 12-inch. That seems like a good size to me. And then actually, once you guys have your sketch, hit the green check for me, and then we're going to come back and fix it.
Sorry, can you go back like one step? My hand's doing something.
Yeah, so all I've done is I've sketched to the interior
Okay.
of my exterior wall.
So did you use that with the line?
Yeah, I did. I used the line this time. But you could use line, pick lines. It should work.
Okay, this time you made them go into the inside?
Um,
Is that what you just said?
Inside of
oh,
the
so
wall.
sorry. So see where this line is? Yes, so I'm on the interior face of my exterior wall.
Go ahead and hit it.
Do you see where my line is?
Yeah.
So right now,
That's why my green check was going away, 'cause I was clicking
I'm here.
outside.
is that where you drew yours?
I guess that.
I mean, I think so. Should they just restart it?
No, let's see. I think yours is still to the outside. Yeah, so delete it and then drop to the interior.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm just ignoring the walls that are sticking.
Yeah, we can.
Yep. So once we have this roof and I hit the green check, tell me what's not right about it.
It's pitched.
Yep, it's a pitched roof. And so what we can do, if we know we want to edit the roof, what do we need to do?
Select it.
Yep, select it and go edit boundary, or here, you can even double click on it and it comes to the same menu. So it's easier than the floor. Remember at the floor I couldn't double click it just because it's hard to select. A roof is easy to select. So again, double click or click on it and go to edit boundary. Either way. And do you guys see these little triangles right here next to every line? Every time you see that, it means that it's that face of the roof is meant to slope. Now, in a flat roof, are any of these supposed to slope? No. So let's click on just one and then look at your properties.
Step, please.
Which step?
You
Here?
clicked on the roof and then you did what?
Edit
Okay,
boundary.
I'm going to show you guys both ways again. So you still see your roof. You're not editing it yet, right?
No, I've clicked on it, it's blue.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so the first way is to click on it,
Yep.
and do you see edit footprint?
edit footprint.
Yep.
You said boundary and
Yeah, I was looking for different menus.
Sorry.
No,
The other thing, what's the easier way? Will you guys tell them the easier way?
Double click.
Double click on your roof. We couldn't do that with our floor because floors are hard to select. Fundamentally, we should, but they're just really hard to select.
Thank you.
Okay? So again, the triangle indicates a slope. Everybody grab a line for me, look in your properties, and tell me how you fix it. I'll match you.
Change slope to 0.
And you could even turn off define slope. Okay? What would be, hang on just one sec. Pretend these are walls. Should we do this one line at a time? Or how can we grab a whole bunch at once?
Control.
Almost.
Hover.
Hover, tab, clip.
Oh.
Click. You could do control too. So Lindy, in the future, you might want not a hip roof, a gable roof. You could use control to grab the two ends and do gable roofs. So yes, but in this one, since we want all, I'm going to do hover, tab, and click. I've got all of them. And see how it says define slope? Okay, let me show you another thing. Let's say I clicked the first one and deselected it. I could still come back and do the hover, tab, click, and see how it's kind of grayed out. That means that I have multiple selections. So I just kind of have to toggle through. It's like, okay, make up your mind. Which one is it? So even if you did one or two, you could still come back and do all of them. Right? So the triangles are gone now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not yet? Let me give you some time. Yeah.
When I hover and tab, it kind of like freaks out, and then I click and it doesn't select all of them.
Shoot. Okay, let me come take a look because part of it could be that you drew them in different segments, like not all at once. The other part could be, it could just be the graphic card is selecting it, but we can't see it. So. Oh, so hit escape. So hover, don't click on it yet. So hover, tab, click. And so hit escape, it's one quick tab. I know it's really weird. So hover, tab, click. There you go.
Over.
Yep, that worked. Let's do it one more time. So hit escape. It's like a whole dance. Hover. Quick tab. So I think what's happening, you're holding tab too long. So
Okay,
it's really,
just
so
click
hit
it.
escape. So hover, tab, click. Yes. Okay, I have to show you guys the Modern Family video before we go today. Please. Give me like 5 minutes to show you what my job really is. Okay. So now that those slope arrows are gone, let's hit the green check. Save our project again. And we've got this roof. Okay. Does that work? Now, I don't know why it's floating above. This is a thing I'm going to let go. I'm going to see if I can align it properly. Just align it quickly for me. I don't know why it's hovering. Because it says it's on the roof level. This did this the first day of class, and I was like, what the crap?
So will you go back over that step?
Mm-hmm. The align one?
Well, to make it like turn into the flat roof.
Yes, of course. So I'm going to double click on it. So right now, Jessica, you see triangles, right? Maybe? Or the triangle's gone? When, let me bring a couple of them back. Okay, do you see that triangle right here?
No.
Okay, so you did it right. Did you go through the step where you turned off the define slope then?
No.
Let's see, but if the triangle's not there, the triangle indicates that it's on. Oh, okay, so double click on your roof for me, because we want to edit it. So you have to click on the line. I know it sounds weird. There you go. So now you see the triangle. Now do the hover tab click to grab the whole roof.
The one that's in the right spot for
So is it the roof line or the ceiling line?
Well, maybe
Oh, I know what you said on here. Are we
Tab
doing
one,
just
like,
roof?
Do we want to move the house?
Well,
back?
I was like,
hit escape. I want you to go in
the,
So hover.
Down
One
below.
tab.
the roof line was set to where we
And now click.
But it
Or
hovered.
one more.
Yeah.
Remember I did that first day too?
Yeah. So see how these all
But
still
she
have
just
the
brought it
boundaries,
down
or the
and
slopes.
really fast.
Come over here and
So
turn on
go
the
to your
slope.
section and
Yep.
And then hit the green
and
check.
then AL and then click like the two lines that you want to touch, and it worked for me.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
That worked.
So basically the ceiling line
Yeah.
and then the roof.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And the bottom of the roof?
That makes.
Yep, I'm here. Okay, I'm checking in. Did everybody, I'm not going to do that yet, but before I do that, oh shoot. Woohoo! Yeah, I like it. I'm keeping it. I love it. Was everybody able to draw this roof and take off the slope?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Do I need to go over it again? No? Okay. We won't go over it again. But here, so this is where I will just say that Revit is wrong because it says it's on the base level roof. Is it actually on the base level roof? Is Naima going to waste time figuring out what's wrong? No. Ashley's like, you're not? No, I'm not. To move on, I'm going to use the align command. So what is the correct place? Here, right? And this is what I want to move. So I'm going to do align. I'm going to say, this is where I want you to go. This is what I want to move. And now it's right.
Can you do that again?
Yeah. So AL, and you guys can't see my cursor, but I've got like the align, whatever. This is where I want you to go. This is what I want to move. I can do it again. Watch one more time. AL, this line of the roof, and then I grab the bottom of the roof and move it down.
We leave it unlocked though, right?
Yeah. But if you want to lock it, you can, so it doesn't move.
So that.
Yeah. Stay right there. So we're almost there, right? We've got a roof now. We've got a floor. But there's a couple things that we still need to fix, right? Part of it is our parapet wall. And then the other part would be just adding in a ceiling. Everybody with me? Do you guys want to take a 5-minute break before we do a parapet? Yeah? Okay. Let's do it. And that was some fun behind the scenes stuff. We could do this a couple different ways, but I'm going to show you how this way might be a little bit easier, especially since you probably have some walls coming into the house, and that's okay. I think maybe. My drawing definitely isn't as detailed as yours, but coming to the courtyard level, I'm going to show you a simple way of doing it, and then if you want to kind of like stick with like the proper way of doing it, you could actually add another level and call it parapet and send all your walls to the parapet. Does that make sense? So you guys know how to do the second way, so maybe I won't go over that, but I'm going to show you a different way you can do it. So I'm going to do the hover, tab once and let go. See how they're highlighted? Now you click and they're selected. So what I see happening a lot today is people are hovering, holding the tab key down, see how it's freaking out disco style, and then trying to click somewhere in here. Okay, so it's really just hover, tab once, I've let go, they're still highlighted, and then I click and now they're selected. And Lindy is chewing off.
It didn't, because my walls extend, it
That's
didn't
okay.
select that wall.
But we don't freak out. What do we click to grab an extra wall?
Control.
Control? To add another wall, if it grabs something you didn't want, hold shift to get rid of it. Okay? I should teach yoga. Forget Revit, man. I'm going to be a technology life coach or whatever. Okay, now come to your properties menu and see how we have top constraint up to level roof. We like that. We want it to go to the roof. In addition to that, do you see where it says offset? Now, if you haven't taken CAD, you might not know what offset means. But offset means that if something is here, you want to offset it or move it a certain distance. Okay, that's what offset means. So offset is really just a fancy way to say move. So for our top offset, I want our railing to be at least 40 inches. Or maybe 42. That's a little bit scary up on the roof. So our top offset is going to be 0, 42. So 3.5 feet. And then you should see in your section now, we've got a nice parapet that comes up above our roof. You guys see that?
Did you just hit enter afterwards?
I don't even think I hit enter. It might take it. I just clicked off of it.
It just takes a second.
Yeah, it takes your graphic card a minute to do it.
Oh.
So there could be a little lag.
Phew.
Did it come up?
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason why I like the offset versus creating a parapet level is, let's say, do you see how right now I have my roof at 10 feet? But then I think we decided like, oh, we want our ceilings at 10 feet. So I don't have any room for my ductwork. Are you guys with me on that?
Mm-hmm.
So let's take our roof and move it up 2 feet. So let's make this 12 feet. Rude. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. So just take your roof and move it up to 12 feet. Okay. And then my section, I have to change it a little bit, maybe. I have too many things right here. I want this little nubbin. Okay, you move. Okay.
Where are you grabbing on the section?
This little tiny dot. Mine was being cropped. I couldn't see the top of it anymore.
Yeah.
So these are always your control or drag points. So do you see how even though I moved my roof, it still knew to go up 42 inches from where I was? Carol, did that work for you?
I missed you, sorry. I went back, I was still moving my roof while you were moving forward.
I don't think I moved forward. My view got cropped and I was just fixing my view. So really the only thing I've done right now is move my roof.
I did that, that's all we've done, but it's not up 42, maybe my views.
Yeah, my section thing, I can't see like the top thing, but
Okay.
my 3D view looks like yours.
It looks right. Okay, so let me bring this back down. So this is similar to what happened in my floor plan earlier today. Remember how earlier today I had this left side cut off of my floor plan because of my view extents? What was that, Carol?
It's the crop region.
Yeah. So if you ever, and this will be common, like as you're working on a project, your project will grow, it'll get taller. So you can just grab these extent regions and edit them.
I was trying to remove the wrong box.
Got it. Did you get it though? Okay, good. So what happened when I moved my roof up, because I said, okay, from the roof level, go up 42 inches, it still moved it up 42. Is that consistent with what happened to you guys? Okay. The reason why I like that, especially in this example, is when my roof went up, my parapet stayed at 42 so that my people are nice and safe. Got it? Now, if I did it the other way, where I had my roof level and then I kept my parapet, if I did the math, if my roof was at 10 feet before and I went 3.5 feet above, do you see how my parapet would stay at that 13.5? So my parapet's here, my roof came here. Now I feel like I'm gonna fall off my roof, right? So I'd have to not just move my roof, but I'd also have to move my parapet level. You guys with me in all my voguing up here? Ashley is not. I see a furrowed brow. Not quite?
Why would you move your roof if your parapet is not what makes it Isn't that what you wanna raise?
So we raised our roof because my ceiling heights were too low. Because right now, my roof it was at 10 feet, but I wanted my ceilings to be at 10 feet. So if my roof is at 10 feet, all of my lights and ducts come down from there. So we moved the roof up to make room for that. And what I was just trying to kind of point out is when the roof moves up, I still want to preserve that parapet. So whenever I have a parapet, this is how I like to do it. If you want to create a parapet level so it kind of moves on its own, you absolutely can. But just make sure if the roof moves up and down, make sure that distance is still what you want it to be. Got it?
And if it's not, how do you move it? Cause my roof was at 13 feet.
Uh-huh.
So I moved it down so I can match you guys at
Okay.
12.
Yeah.
So now my parapet's not tall enough.
Are you sure it's not?
It's showing at 2'6" and
I
you
think-
have it at 3'6".
Let me check. I'm bad at math. Mine says it's at 2.8. So measure yours and see where it is. Because even with, well, no, let's just see where our roofs are at. Because it should be at 3.6. So I could just be a big liar right now. And I could check it by clicking on a wall, top offset 3.6. So yeah, sorry, it's offsetting from the roof level, which is this bottom part right here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Got it. Did you guys catch what happened there? Mm. So I just need to come up a little bit more so I feel safe. Even at 2.8, I don't feel safe. I want at least 3 feet there. Okay? So with the roof offset, can you guys, I'll just tell you, you have to add another 8 inches onto this. So here, we want it to be, let me grab, I have to grab all my walls again. So what plan would you guys grab all of your exterior walls in? Probably courtyard. Now, in my case, because my plan is simpler than yours, I could actually do hover, tab, click. Oh, it grabbed most of mine, but not all. See how it missed the bottom half? So in my courtyard plan, what button do I hit to add more to it?
Control.
Good. So I'm going to do Control to add. You guys might even be hitting Shift to get rid of some stuff. So here, I'm going to change this to 4 feet 2. Should do it for us. I'm still 2 inches off, so it's 4 feet 4. There we go. So other than the construction math, would you guys feel comfortable adding a parapet to a building? Yeah. What route do you guys think you would go? Would you do a parapet level, or do you think you would do the top offset? Like the top offset? There's really no right or wrong with this one. Just curious. You've worked with both now, so I was just curious. Okay. Does anybody need a minute on the parapet, or you guys got that okay? So now let's take a minute and think about the new plans that we're doing. Let me open up. Remember I said we might skip 2.1, and I'm just going to have you guys turn in next week's homework a week early, plus some other stuff at the end of class. So I'm going to pull this up real quick so you guys can take a look. We've already done most of this in our the modern casita. But what I want you guys to think about is your 2-bedroom house. So imagine you've gone home, it's the weekend, you're working on it. Do you feel like you could sketch the boundary of a floor, ceiling, and a roof? Well, we haven't done the ceiling yet, so. I bet you could though, you know, without me telling you. I bet, because the floor and the roof are the same. If you know how to do one, you know how to do the other one. And that's probably how we'll start. I'll have you guys start. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, hit Control Z and I'm going to show you how it works. Do you guys know how to insert a section view? Or create a section view? We did 2 today, right? Yeah. If you didn't use the shortcut at the very top of your screen next to the 3D house, where does the section shortcut live?
In the view ribbon.
Yeah, in the view ribbon. So you can click on view and then section, right? If you drew a floor and it was too thick or too thin, do you know how to change its properties? Yeah. So you could click on it and go to properties and just simply change the type. And really, I wouldn't have you do this, but bonus material, if I went in the assignment and I said, for extra credit, make a 6-inch floor, could you? Do you guys want extra credit?
Yes.
Okay, so change the assignment. Hold on. I have to write these things down. You guys leave and I'm like, did I teach today? What? Extra credit, 6-inch floor on 2-bedroom. Okay, it kind of looks like English. All right. So we did do an introduction to roof slopes. We didn't really talk about the overhang. It just did it for us, but that's okay. It was just a quick intro. Now, this week, what I would like you guys to do is create these 3 new plans based on what we went over today. Okay, so roof plan, I think there's already one in our model. Let's check that before we go. Reflected ceiling plan might be in there. Let's check it. Sections, I don't know if they're section sheets, so we'll have to check. Okay, we'll check these. Let's spend about 10-15 minutes on the reflected ceiling plan, and then we'll go over making sure the sheets are there. And what we could even do, let's do another test print in class to make sure that when I grade your PDFs next week, that one, a PDF set is turned in, so all the pages combined, that it's centered, and that it's to scale. So those are the 3 things that'll probably be in the rubric, okay? Let me check 2.1 real quick, because since we're skipping this, I'm adding it to this. I just want your floor plan to show your windows and doors and to also have your tags professionally placed and labeled. You guys good with that for next week? Carol, did I see a finger up? Sorry.
You wouldn't want us to turn in this one for that one, right? Even though we worked on this plan?
It'll be
So the
part
one
of
previous to,
Like the 2.1? No, I'm ignoring 2.1. I'm just gonna close that one. I don't think anybody submitted on that yet. If you've submitted, I can't close it.
We still need the windows and doors in our plan. We
Yeah,
just don't have to
so-
turn it in separately.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this one because I'm actually going to unpublish it now. Your rubric for week 3 is going to add the windows and doors plus the tags, right? So whatever's on the rubric is what's due, okay? So this one's closed and 3 will add. Windows included on plan, professionally placed and labeled, doors same way, okay? So that's why we're combining them. So again, what we're going to do now, let me back up a little bit. We're going to add the ceiling plans, and then after we add the ceilings, we're going to go through and look at our project set to make sure we know how to put all these views on a sheet, and then more importantly, how to print them correctly. So take a minute, and I would like you guys, I don't care if it doesn't work, right? I just want you to try. See if you can use a section to help you see if you can add a ceiling in your bathroom and your laundry room. Okay, you can even move this section. So at least let me give you that hint. By moving the section, you can see if this has a ceiling on it. So right now looking at it, we have a roof, but do we have a ceiling like this? Okay, so I moved it up. I grabbed my section and moved it. That'll help me a little bit. Just play for a minute. Maybe just start in the bathroom. See if you can get a ceiling in there.
And you want the ceiling to be 12 inches below the roof line?
Let's keep the ceiling exactly at 10 feet. Okay? Give it a try. I won't leave you too long. Let me give you like 1 minute. I'm looking at my timer on the lecture. I'm going to help you in 1 minute. "15 more seconds until I come save you." Okay, it's been a minute. Give me a thumbs up, like by your chest, if that worked. Okay, a couple of you. Some of you are like, oh, hell no. Moving on. Okay, so let's just jump in and let me do my job and be a teacher. I'm going to do one thing, though. I'm going to skip ahead. Ignore me for a minute. We'll get here one day. I'm going to turn off my dimensions so that my screen's a little bit cleaner. So here in my courtyard level, I want to add a ceiling. So in my courtyard level, I would go to ceiling. You guys see this ceiling shortcut there? Okay. And then I'm going to look at my properties real quick. So typically in a home, this is what I want. So GWB stands for gypsum wallboard on furring. And furring is basically just like a stud. So this is what I'd want. And right now, looking at my properties, what height is my ceiling about to go in at?
10 feet?
Look at my properties.
Oh, 8.
There you go. So I want it to be at 10 though. So good. So I want it to be at 10. And then this part's kind of new because do you see when my mouse is hovering over the room, it is automatically telling me where the ceiling's gonna go? Okay. Ashley?
So when I go to like fit ceiling and then change the type or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, first actually before I go change the type, it tells me I need, in order to edit the sketch, please open one of the following views.
Yeah, so do you see how I'm in a floor plan? You have to put in your ceiling in a floor plan. So this section was just there for us. So here's why we have the section open. Give me 1 second. So I'm going to click. So it's saying none of the created elements are visible in the floor plan. You may want to check the active view or another view. So look at my section. Did I just draw a ceiling? Why is the courtyard warning me that I can't see it? I'm going to put my hand up on the wall like this. Do you know what this means when I'm doing this?
It's above the cut line.
Yep. So we went into I go into the courtyard to create a ceiling because I want to see the boundary, like the boundaries of the walls. So even though I'm on the courtyard and created a ceiling, I can't see it because it's above where I've cut. So Revit's just warning me like, okay, you have a ceiling, but you can't see it. And the reason why I turn on the section view is so that you can visually see if there's a ceiling there. Last semester, I didn't make that point clear enough, and people had like 12 ceilings. They're just like, it's not there, it's not there. It's easy, just grab them and delete them, but the section lets you see that even though you're getting a warning, there is a ceiling there. So now I'm going to delete the ceiling, and I'm going to start that whole thing over as if I didn't tell you anything. Okay. So again, I like to have my section open so I can see the cut of that room. And backing up a little bit before we even started, because I'm back at the first step, when we started this, at first I wanted the section in the hallway. Okay, so I actually came through before I started working and moved that section into the bathroom so I could see it in my section view. Hopefully I didn't lose anybody there, but that's where I am now. So looking at my section, I have a roof, but do I have a ceiling in my bathroom? No, and I do want one. It's really common in homes. In fact, you can have a ceiling at 10 feet, but in your bathroom, you might not want a ceiling that high. So in fact, this time when I redraw it, I'm gonna bring down the ceiling 2 feet. I'm gonna bring it down to 8 feet. It's just better for like heating and cooling and getting the air out of there. So sometimes you will see a drop down in those rooms. So with that, coming to my courtyard, I click on ceiling. And by default, it is the property type that I want. But remember how I just drew it at 10 feet? It remembered that, but this time I'm gonna make it a little bit different. I'm gonna do 8.5. So 8 space 6. Sure. Okay. And I did mention that I want it in my bathroom and where else? The laundry. So while I'm here, I'm going to also click in the laundry room. It's still getting mad at me because you just can't see it because you're on the floor plan. Okay? But I see it in my section. So when I'm done, I just hit escape. Now let me give you guys a minute to do that, and then I'm going to ask you, how do I check to see if it worked in my laundry room? Yeah, if I click on section 2, see how I can see both of them now? Okay.
If we want to delete the one that we initially put at
Yeah,
You
just
click
click
on
on
it,
it
delete it?
and hit delete. Yep. Okay. Right. So that's how you would put in a ceiling, and that's how you'd verify if those ceilings went in. So just more examples of why I like to use multiple views at the same time. So sections and floor plans working together at once, I think, really help. You could, no, we're not going to hide the roof. You could click on your roof in your 3D view, and you can kind of tip it to see the ceilings below. So essentially, sometimes just by selecting the roof, it gives you X-ray vision, and you can see the ceilings in there too. But I think the section's a little bit easier to see it.
I like how you just dragged your section view over.
Oh yeah, so let me put it back where it was. I usually don't even, I don't think I've ever done that before in Revit, to be completely honest. I do it in other views. So I don't like that my courtyard level and my sections are in one window now. So first I'm going to ditch my roof plan. But what I do want is both of my sections over here. So what you can do is, do you see where my mouse is? Just click and drag hard, and it moves it out of that window. And you can just drop it here and it can live out in the middle of nowhere, but that drives me crazy. So I'm going to click and drag again. And as soon as you see the window highlight in blue, you can let go, and now these two are stacked on each other, if you wish.
I can't click on my roof in my 3D.
Go to the edge of it.
Oh,
Did it work?
oh, you're so silly.
I know, it's weird. You can't click in the middle of nowhere. You have to click on like graphic content. You wish it would know, but it just doesn't know. I don't know why it thinks it's an invisible pixel.
That's cool though.
Okay? So let's wrap up by taking a look at the list of things I need and to make sure we have those views created. So you guys might be a step ahead of me because I haven't created the sheets to print. Taylor, you might need to do it since I gave you an old assignment. I'm not sure. But so coming over here to the assignment, let me go back to 3.1. Give me 1 sec. I'll just throw it up on the board. Maybe. Okay, so I'm saying these are the sheets to add. So I've listed them as A, but if you didn't do A last week, be consistent. What would you do this week instead of A? I or AI. I'm not quite sure what you guys did, but just be consistent. So at this point, I'm saying add. So what sheets do we already have? We already have I, like 101, right? And maybe I 201. Some of you guys had, I think only 50% of you guys had 201 last week. So let's start with that. Should we start with how to do an elevation sheet? The I-201? Let's do that. So coming into our project, I'm going to shut all these down just so I have one big window. Okay. And I'm going to go here to interior elevations. So I've got a sheet, but it's totally blank, right? On A13. This is where I'll meet you guys.
Is it okay if we used one A6 or A7?
Yeah, that's where I wanted to be. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
Where's my A7? Okay, so I did this last week. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do A7, just pretending you didn't get there. Does A7 have anything on it, or did I bring this on?
No, it was blank.
Okay. So A6 or A7, if yours is blank, first I want you to rename it what it should be. So A7 should now be I-201, whatever you did last week to be consistent. If it's getting mad at you, you probably already have an I-201, so call it I-202. And then to bring the elevation on here, you need your project browser because now we're going to drag and drop the view onto this sheet. So I'm going to pretend I don't know that my north view is already on a sheet. It might not be. So in my project browser, I find elevations, north, and when I go to drag and drop, see how it's mad at me? It's already on 201. So that one's already taken care of. So I'm going to go back here and drag my south view on here, like this. And then I can also grab my west and drag and drop, like this. My extents, my view titles, those are crazy. Go back to last week and rewatch or re-listen to that. I kind of want to focus just on the viewports today. Okay. Quick question. Are you guys comfortable renaming a sheet so far? Okay. Are you comfortable using the project browser to drag views onto your sheet? Did that work for you guys? Yeah? Okay. Yes.
With the title block, do you only want one title block when we drag it? If they're in the same scale?
Do I only want one title block?
Or the where it's set to scale. Would you want two of them? Because I dragged by.
Oh, so this is really cool. So see how right now it's scale 1/4?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me grab this one and change it to half or 3/4. You don't have to worry about it. See what it did? As indicated. It's got you. You don't have to worry about that. Okay. Let me undo that. So we also need sections. Take a look at your sheets. Do we have a wall section plan? Or wall section sheet already created for us? Okay. What number is it right now? Yep. So, sorry, not wall section, building sections. I saw the word section and I just started reading. So we want, but really, does it matter which one we pick? Because there's nothing on it, right? Now, do we want it to still be A8? What should it be this week?
301.
Yep, 301, as long as it's in the 300s. So whatever you did last week, I, continue with that, but call it 301. So we never have a 300 sheet because 0 indicates that it's not a sheet. So it's the first page, right? So it's the first, second, third. And then without me telling you, are you guys comfortable going to the project browser? Drag and drop? I'm not going to tell you, but I'm going to tell you. So with your sections, I'd make them a little bit bigger. Mine came in default 1/8 of an inch. I'd have them be at least 1/4. These are typically enlarged views. What was that, Lindy?
Mine came in at 1/4.
Okay.
That's weird.
It's all right.
It's just what you
I just don't
were
have to
working
fix
on.
it, right?
Yeah. So with mine, I think it's coming in at 1/8. I changed my view scale so you guys can see my text better. That's all. But if you ever wanted to change the scale, again, you click on your view while you're on the sheet and change your view scale to whatever up here in the viewport properties. So I could probably even go up to 1/2 and still have it be okay.
Would you like us to put both sections on the same sheet?
If it fits, yeah. You can put as many as you can.
Was that this week that we get extra credit for adding a camera view? Or was that last week on the one that we're not doing? I saw it.
No, I'm going to add it, yeah. So it'll be added. So it was on 2, but I'm going to add that to 3.
So would
So you'll have
that
2
be
extra credits.
in the section drawing? Would it be in the
No, I'll
300?
put that on, it's on the 900s. Yep. So 900s is renderings. Carol did a great job, though. She put it on her title page. You guys don't have title pages. Don't worry about that. But Carol, it's fine to put it on your title page. That works too. Okay.
So
When
I could
you
swap out what I had there and put a camera view?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's totally fine.
Okay.
Then when you're done, double click on A3 and meet me at the first floor reflected ceiling plan. And it will kind of look like nothing. Okay, meet me there, but I'm gonna do a test to make sure that there is in fact something there. Okay, but my brain has to work first. Here we go. Nope, not that one. Let me go here. I'm gonna do something weird. I'm changing mine to a ceiling that you can actually see. There we go. Okay. Did everybody get to A3? Everybody at A3? Does anybody need a minute to get here? No? Okay. Let me know when you're ready, Fabi. It'll be an A3 for you. Was that a yes, I'm there? Oh, that was super quick. Cool. So right now it looks like you guys have nothing there, correct? Right. So I went through and I changed the properties of my ceiling to be an acoustic ceiling like this, just to show you guys that there is something there. Okay. How about this? Let's go up to your ceiling plan in your project browser. Okay, just bear with me. We're not going to change your ceiling type. Let me change mine back. I'm going to change, no, not generic. We had furring and furring. So now I'm back where you guys are. So ceiling plan courtyard level looks like this. There's nothing here, right? Bonus material, just so you guys feel better that something's there. If you don't want to do this, if you're like, Naima, not one more thing, ignore me, move on. But you can go to Systems, and you see where it says Light Fixture. So Systems is 3 over from Architecture, and we've got Light Fixtures. Click on LF. I don't care what you put in. Just put in something so that when you look at your reflected ceiling plan, you can feel better that something's there. Don't show my dad. So light fixture, if I hover on it, do you see how it says LF? So I'm under Systems.
Yeah.
All the way to the right side, almost one of the last things, lighting.
All grayed out. I must be somewhere else.
Yep. Is there anything blue? Oh wait, are you in courtyard level or are you on the sheet?
I must have been on something else. Okay. Hang on.
Are you in the systems tab?
Oh, never mind. I'm on the sheet.
No, your sheet,
Don't
man.
mind me. Okay, so I need to be on my first floor.
So see where I am, ceiling plans, courtyard level?
Yeah.
We've never been here before. Welcome to your ceiling plan.
Oh. It's only letting me put that, okay,
Now
sorry.
I know.
Where
You're
we
good.
put the ceiling.
Yep.
Because we haven't put the ceiling everywhere.
Mm-mm.
I'm trying to put it in a
Yep.
room where
So
I
it's
want
kind
it
of
to
like a
be.
window. Like unless you have a ceiling there for it,
Right.
it won't put stuff in.
I got it now.
It's still not letting me put it there even though I was filling.
So let's make sure. So on your project browser, does it say ceiling plans and then courtyard level?
Nope.
That's where you want to be.
And then what did you do after that to get those lights?
Systems,
Yeah?
light fixture. Or the shortcut was LF.
I did that. And then what did you do?
So I think by
Oh, got it,
default
got
it
it.
wants a pendant light. Go ahead and throw in a pendant light. I mean, it's a fancy bathroom and a fancy laundry room. And if you look in your sections now, aww, we had lights. Okay. So now go look at your sheet, and if you chose to do this, do you guys see some lights there?
Yeah.
Okay. The only reason why I'm adding this layer to it is last semester a lot of people freaked out because they're like, my ceiling plan is blank. I'm like, well, what does a ceiling plan look like? It looks like a blank wall. Like, there's nothing there until you put lights or something on it. So that's what it should look like. And in our assignment, let me go back. So your ceiling plan will not be A3. It'll be A150 or I150.
Because that's part of floor plan.
Mm-hmm. Yep, typically people start their ceiling plans 50 sheets later because it is a floor plan view, but then it gives room for you to add your levels. Okay. Roof plan. Go check your sheets to see if you have a roof plan for me. Make a couple notes here. Do you guys have a roof plan? Yep, A5 roof plan. Now, do you guys see what I'm writing in bold under your assignment description? So if you're standing on your roof and you're looking down, should you see the floor plan below? No. You might be in like some fancy like Chinese something or another where it has like a glass roof. But if your roof isn't glass, make sure the underlay is off.
So where do we turn it off?
I'm gonna let you try to find it. I put a really big hint there, underlay.
Right?
Well, I know that, but I have to be in my roof plan to turn it off, right?
Maybe, I don't know, try it. I think you're on the right track. I know you're on the right track, but I just want you to be confident that you are.
It's just really boring.
It is,
Okay.
for now, but now you know how to do it. So, my codes people, raise your hands. My people taking codes, this residential or commercial. This is my gift to you. You're welcome. We didn't teach this because it was like, really, one more sheet? I have enough sheet already. Yeah. But enough people
So
asked.
it's just the outline, basically.
There's a ceiling there.
Right.
But because it's just a white chipboard ceiling, you can't see it. But if you change it to acoustic tile, you'll actually see the grids in it.
Got it.
That's what we're looking at.
Okay.
Similar to, sorry, Lindy, when we look at our section, even though, okay, I'm not going to
There were
vogue.
ceilings in the laundry room and that thing, we couldn't see them because they were.
Nope, hang on, bear with me one sec. I have a section open. Okay, so right here, it's white. So even though we don't see a wall, we know a wall is there. Back here, right? We don't have to have like a speckle to indicate a wall. Some people do, but that's the same thing with our ceiling. It's just like our wall, but it's just on another plane. Okay, and someone else had a question.
If my little reference point lines are still showing, will they not show on?
When you print, they won't. Yep, so you'll always see them, but when you go to print, you won't see it.
That's what I was thinking, that's what I can.
Yeah, no, it's good to make sure. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag the sheets that were due originally on here too. Whoops, this is an I. Okay, and then, so I-109 3D camera view for extra credit. And then here on your section, I'm also going to put for extra credit. Oh no, not for this. So for your assignment, not for this one, sorry. For your assignment, I will change it to say that for extra credit, do a 6-inch slab.
Oh, right.
And we're
Okay.
just turning in the 2-bedroom, or are we also turning in?
You're gonna turn in this too. Yep. I think I got all of them. Reflected ceiling plan, floor plan.
There's a lot of sheets here.
So it's the
I know.
exercises from Tuesday and then the assignment added to this assignment.
Yeah, let me save this and then change the rubric. And then we have time. I'm gonna go over this with you guys just to make sure. It's not gonna be in the right order that I typically would like, but that's okay. Let me grab this from here. I like the way Carol put it. It's always summer in here.
I know.
Yep.
But I forget when I get to it.
So I'm gonna write windows.
It's snowing outside when I get past, so.
What does it mean when I say tags are placed professionally?
They don't have leaders.
They don't have leaders, they're not in the way of something. If you need a leader, use it, but don't just put it on for the sake of putting it on.
If there's a tag that's kind of, so it's for a door and it's like on top of the door,
Uh-huh.
I can't really read the numbers, so I don't like that. I can't remember if there's one in here.
Yeah, so let me either. So see how mine is kind of on top of the door a little bit? What you can do, click on the number, and sometimes if you're just moving it a little bit, you don't need a leader. But if you're moving it really far out, turn on a leader so that it's obvious to whoever is looking at it that this tag belongs in that room.
Like that sliding door in the laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Totally here, yeah.
One very conventional.
I'm going to edit this. That doesn't make sense anymore to include all sheets, including new sheets. Let me get rid of from this exercise. Scale, sheets are combined and centered. Okay, and I haven't changed, this is just the exercise. I'm going to copy this rubric to the assignment and add the extra credit. So let me change that. Yep, this combines the two assignments. Oh, that's ugly. Let's make sure I'm not lying anywhere. So we've got a floor plan, exterior elevations, roof plan, reflected ceiling plan, sections, and then a 3D camera view. Good?
Yep.
Okay. With like the 10 minutes we have left, I'm gonna quickly print a set so that you guys just know that at minute or 1 hour, 53 minutes in, I'm gonna go over printing one more time. Try it with me because if there's a step you're missing, fix it today so that you get all of your points next week. So combined, centered, and to scale. Those are the three big things. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to my floor plan. And for this one, because we don't have a ton of time, I'm just gonna do it. I won't be asking questions. So File, Print, okay. And the first thing to do is just make sure you have the right printer. So is anybody in here using PDF Architect 7? Or is everybody using Qt? Cool, just curious. So either way, just make sure you have the right printer. And then I'm gonna start in setup. You can do this in any order, but this is where I'm gonna start. So here, this is how I know it's to scale. Watch the old lecture, I can eyeball it and know, but I'm pretty sure that these sheets are an Arch D or an Arch D+. Okay, so I'm gonna pick Arch D. Centered, don't fit to page, always zoom 100%.
And as soon as you hit zoom, it
I know.
takes that center off.
Yep,
I
so
have that.
Oh, that's what
That's
happened.
what
to me.
happened.
yes.
Yeah.
And it happened like first and second time.
Centered.
I know, I don't know why it thinks that that helps you, but zoom, center, so just a quick eyeball, make sure that that's correct. And then I'm going to click OK, and I still have two things to do. So first I need to select the sheets I want to print. So I go to Select, so I have to come all the way down to the bottom because it tells you the sheets. So for this assignment, I want my reflected ceiling plan, never mind that it's not the right name, okay? I want a building section. I think I actually have that down here somewhere. Yep, elevations, first floor plan, section, and I'm gonna pretend that my site plan is my I-109, my 3D views. Okay, so see how I have all of my sheets selected? Okay. Then I'm gonna click on OK. I'm not going to save this yet because from this week to last week we added a whole bunch of sheets. We're probably going to add more, so I'm not going to save this yet. Now before I click OK, I'm going to combine my multiple selected. This isn't a big deal if you don't do it because it will warn you. It'll say you're about to print these all separately. Revit knows now that that's not the typical way of doing it. Let me see where this is being saved. That's not where I want it to go. I have a folder on my desktop for Revit. And I'm going to put this in, I don't know what week we're in. I'm confused. I'm just going to do 03. Okay. And the date is the 29th? 30th? Oh, barf. I have so much to do by tomorrow. I can also call it Modern Casita, whatever. Okay, and then save. Okay. I think Cute PDF and PDF Architect gives me one more question. Yep. It's like, wait, are you sure this is where you want to put it? So I'm just going to say, all right. I actually wanted to put it here. It remembers the name, just not the location. Excuse me. Then I hit save. And if I remember correctly, these two printers don't open it automatically. So before you turn it in, let's see how long this takes. Check it. So I'm at 25 seconds. Okay. Is it centered? It's centered. I have overhang, but that's okay. This is, you know it's right if the overhang is symmetrical. Okay. I can tell it's not when the top and bottoms have a lot more space. That's how I know the correct sheet size has been selected. It's combined, everything's there. That took me an additional 30 seconds. Okay. So if you see that it's not centered, let me turn off centering. I'm going to change two things now. Let me show you how I know it's wrong. No, Emma, calm down. You have 6 minutes. Letter. I'm going to do letter fit to page, but I'm going to let me do it this way. This is probably the most common thing I got. I'll show you this one and then I'll show you another one that's not centered. Whoops. Now Cute PDF's going to be like, hey, where do you want to put this? And I'll just say save. This is how I can tell. See the difference between the two? I've just done this enough where I can automatically see whether it was on the correct sheet or not. And then let me see. I had a lot of them in the bottom right hand corner. I might not even know how you did it, but I'm gonna try. So let's go back here.
That's because you told us on the sheet you wouldn't mind it being in the bottom right hand corner.
So the view can go in the bottom right hand, but the entire sheet should be centered. Yep. Let me see if this does it. Again, I'm not quite sure.
I think one of mine did that because I had hit zoom after I hit center.
Okay.
And I didn't notice, but it did.
Fair enough. Like I said, just take 30 seconds, you know,
I know.
to see. Don't let me find out and tell you, right? Find out before I see it. Okay, I got a lot of these. So watch out for that too. Okay. And with that, you have 4 extra minutes. Yes!